my 36-month plan to get into Harvard Law School. Now, obviously, I'll settle for Yale or Stanford, but the point isn't really which school I get into. This video is about setting goals and building habits to get yourself to where you want to be in life. For me, that's law school. I've wanted to go to law school since I started mock trial in high school, but only until I took a practice LSAT a couple of weeks ago did I realize how soon that opportunity would be coming to me. I'm a freshman in college, and in 3 years, if I want to go to law school, I'll be applying for admissions and financial aid to try to go to the best law school possible while paying the least amount of money. And 3 years seems far away now, but that's what I said when I was a freshman in high school, and I was like, this college thing is so far away. But now here I am, and it passed in the blink of an eye. So when I was scrolling through Twitter the other day and I came across this thread about goal setting, I decided to read through it and see if I could maybe learn something about my own endeavors. Now, I'll link the original thread in the description of this video, but I'll be paraphrasing or straight up ripping off the author's words, so just be aware that none of these ideas are very original, and that all the credit for these ideas should be going to the author of the thread, Sail Bloom. With that being said, he starts out the thread by issuing some warnings for what usually ends up causing people the most trouble when they try to set and achieve goals. He cites 5 things as the most common reason that people don't attain their goals. He says that first, sometimes people make too many of them. Second, that sometimes the goals are too loose, that they're not tied to action, that there's an unfit environment for achieving the goals, or that there are unclear time bounds for when the individual wants to attain their goals. With these pitfalls in mind, I decided to scroll through the thread and maybe draw some inspiration for my own goals. The author says that consistent goal achievement is never an accident, and that there is a real way to achieve what you want in life and do things that a lot of people dismiss as just a dream. The first step of his goal-setting process is to establish which categories you'll be building around. For me, in creating a successful law school application, there's 3 really important things that I need to do. First, I need to get a really good LSAT score. For reference, schools like Harvard and Stanford and U of Chicago all have an average LSAT score of around 170. The students who end up making it into those law schools end up in the 99th percentile of all people who take the LSAT. Secondly, you need a really good GPA. Most people who get accepted to those schools end up with 3.9s, 4.0s, the best of the best. This will be incredibly difficult for me because my first semester of college ended with an awful GPA. And the third aspect of the law school application is everything else that you need outside of the numbers. Extracurriculars, interests, talents, things you write essays about, including the essay. With those 3 categories in mind, the author says that there are 3 kinds of goals you should be making. The first is what he calls a big, hairy, audacious goal, or BAG goal. The second kind of goal is a medium-term goal, and then the third type of goal is the ones that you do every day, the tiny little Lego bricks that you stack on top of each other so that over enough time and enough effort you can build a Millennium Falcon. So the second step of this goal-setting process is to identify for each category that you want to achieve goals in what your big, hairy, audacious goal is. It should be big and ambitious, but not ridiculous, and you should think of it like your North Star that kind of motivates you in an abstract way, but not necessarily on a day-to-day basis. For my first application component of LSAT, I set the BAG goal for scoring a 175 on the test that I take. 175 would end up being 99.99999 percentile. It's a really difficult score to achieve. But when I took my practice test the other day, I scored around a 160. If you don't know, the LSAT is scored on a scale of 120 to 180, and a 160 ends up being maybe 80th percentile of all scores of the test. So it's pretty good, but it's not good enough for the schools that I want to get into. That being said, because I have 3 years to make this happen, I think 175 might just be achievable if I keep building up my score a little bit month by month, year by year. Maybe I'll get there. For the second category of GPA, I set the goal of having a 3.9 cumulative GPA at the end of my college experience. Like I said before, it'll be really difficult considering my first semester, but not necessarily unattainable. And then the third category was the most difficult to set a goal for, so I decided to make it more abstract. I researched what the most important things for a law school application were, and one thing that kept coming up was you have to be a really good writer, and you have to have strong analytical thinking and communication skills. So I set that as my goal. The third step of the goal setting process is to work backwards and set your medium-term goals. For medium-term goals, depending on your time frame, you could set them every month, you could set them every quarter, you could set them every year. For me, it seems like there would be too many months and too little years, so I decided to set each of my medium-term goals on a quarterly basis. For my LSAT score, I set the goal to achieve a 160 score by March. I started at maybe a 155 or a little bit less than 160, so this should be attainable. I'll take a full practice test once every month to gauge my progress towards achieving this medium-term goal. My medium-term goal for the GPA category is to have all A's by spring break. And this might be kind of a lofty goal. It might be kind of difficult, but the beauty of this goal-setting framework is that by not planning too far ahead, I can be flexible and dynamic with the goals that I set in the coming months. If I see I'm not going to have straight A's by spring break, I can change my medium-term goal. It's not a big deal, because achieving goals in the present has a great effect on your ability to achieve goals in the future. For the last category of becoming a good writer with excellent analytical thinking and communication skills, I set the goal of producing 6 YouTube videos by March that include good analysis and strong communication. Obviously, they don't have to be perfect right off the bat, but as I improve, hopefully my communication skills will improve as well. I also set the goal of getting a part-time job that involves an aspect of the video production skills I've been trying to grow for the last couple of years. If I can grow these skills and create tangible progress for myself in this category, it's something I can talk about in an essay, and it's something I can talk about in interviews when they ask for interests outside of law. And anyone who's ever applied for anything ever will tell you that diversity is super important in any application. The fourth step of the goal-setting framework is to establish process goals, which, like I said before, are the 2 to 3 daily goals that help you build up to your medium-term goal. The idea is to create strong habits that will create tangible compounding progress for you. The author of this thread cites that the daily process goals are the oars that move your boat, whereas the bag goal and the medium-term goals are the rudders that kind of steer its direction. He says that daily process goals are the most effective when they're tied to a certain framework of time or action that make them easy to structure and regiment. The examples he gives are to drink 16 ounces of water when he wakes up and to journal 30 minutes before bed each night. The goals are simple and effective and super achievable. For my LSAT category, I want to complete 3 practice questions each day and then take 1 full practice test each month. Hopefully, by keeping up with the habit of doing practice questions each day, I'll improve with my ability to answer the questions, I'll get better with regulating the timing of the questions, and I should be able to improve my score. Each of these goals are super easy to measure because either you do them or you don't. For the GPA category, I set the goal to do schoolwork from 4 to 5 on each weekday. Now you might be like, wow, as a college student, you're only doing 1 hour of work each day, and I admit that relatively it doesn't seem like a lot, but the point is that I will be able to hit each of them every day. And if I don't do an hour of work each day, I'll make it even smaller. The important part is to build the habit, and the long-term effect of doing it every day is more important than their individual achievement. My second goal for this category is to not miss a single due date for any of my schoolwork. Hopefully, by achieving each of these goals throughout the coming months, I'll be able to achieve my medium-term goal of having straight A's by spring break. For the last category of my application, I set the daily process goals of doing 1 Blender modeling tutorial each week and to script and record videos during 1 week and edit and publish them in the second. These 2 tangible goals will help me achieve my medium-term goal of producing YouTube videos, which will in turn help me achieve my bag goal. Now, the final step of this goal setting framework is to track and adjust your daily process goals and your medium-term goals. For example, Jerry Seinfeld set the goal of doing an hour of writing each day before he made it big. Each day he did an hour of writing, he would write a giant red X on a calendar. It wasn't about the writing being good, it was about doing it each day. Sahil Bloom also says that you should leverage community to hold yourself accountable to achieving your goals. And for me, by posting this video, I've put it out there that this is what I intend to do. And if I don't end up doing it, there will be a community to hold me accountable. I also have roommates and friends that will help me achieve my daily goals of working each day, help me to get enough sleep, eat healthy, and all the important things to keep myself going. And first, after 2 weeks of daily goals, and then after each passing month, I'll review what my daily goals were. And if I'm not achieving them, I'll adjust them down and make them more attainable. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the individual actions. It's about the habit that you build by doing them each and every day. Thanks for watching, and I wish you all the best in setting your own goals.